a seminar on the concept Thailand Top Wellness World, TTWW, with many distinguished guests sharing and exchanging knowledge to drive and promote the wellness business in the future. The moderator, Patparon Promlern Nielsen, COO of Be Healthy Asia, Mr. Jackie Ong, President of CISW Holding Group, Mr. Klaus F. Nielsen, CTIO of Be Healthy Asia, Pawani Sangkabon, Deputy Director of International Health Division, Department of Health Service Support, Mr. Pwanaris Chun Chaisit, President of the National Charter, Associate Professor Dr. Kampon Sriwatanakon, President of the Thailand Charter of Health, Professor Dr. Mike Chan, Chairman and Senior Researcher of European Wellness Biomedical Group, Dr. Dina Tulina, Medical Advisor of European Wellness Biomedical Group,
Dr. Christopher Jensen, Chief Medical Officer of CISA Group, Mr. Titi Satmurat, a Medical Director of CISA Group.
First of all, I would like to start our seminar with Mr. Jackie Ong. So you as the President of CISW Holding Group and also the key player in the wellness tourism market. So in your opinion, what makes Thailand one of the world's top wellness destinations?
Thailand can be the top wellness world destination of the country because today Thailand is already the top 4 of the world wellness tourist destination. But only that we are never get on together, partnership together, everyone doing this separately. As after COVID, Thailand is one of the recognized countries that very good safety for COVID. And many countries looking for a second home. So Thailand will be the second home for many countries to come to stay here for wellness tourist destination. This is the very key message to the world, Thailand, and we are very ready to move forward to be the top world wellness destination country. And now I think we all get together and we also now develop the mindset and for this industry to understand that this is the connecting to all together. And if we can do all together, I'm sure that Thailand can be the top world wellness destination of the country.
So we also have Kun Pawini here, the representative of MOPH, the Ministry of Public Health. She can also share us and elaborate more in terms of the policy of the Thailand Wellness Economic Corridor, ระเบียงเศรษฐกิจ here, so she can share with us more about what kind of agenda we would like to promote and in terms of the actions that the government sector and also private sector need to do together to make this happen.
ในส่วนของนโยบายของ Medical Hub นะคะเรามีนโยบายชาตินะคะที่เป็นนโยบาย 20 ปียุทธศาสตร์ชาติที่เรารัฐบาลขับเคลื่อนในเรื่องของการเพิ่มขีดความสามารถทางการแข่งขันนะคะแล้วเราก็มาโฟกัสในเรื่องของการท่องเที่ยวเชิงสุขภาพนะคะโดยเฉพาะในแผนพัฒนาเศรษฐกิจฉบับที่ 13 นะคะเราเน้นในเรื่องของการมีมูลค่าทางด้านการแพทย์และสุขภาพสูงในเรื่องของการเพิ่มรายได้นะคะจนถึงแผนฉบับที่เราดำเนินงานอยู่ทุกวันนี้ก็คือแผนของ Medical Hub นะคะซึ่งเป็นยุทธศาสตร์ชาติฉบับหนึ่งนะคะที่เราผ่านมติครม.เรามีบอร์ด Medical Hub ระดับชาตินะคะมีใน4ผลผลิตหลักนะคะทั้งในเรื่องของ Wellness Service Academic และ Product นะคะซึ่งเรามีคณะกรรมการร่วมระหว่างของกระทรวงสาธารณสุขเองแล้วก็กระทรวงการท่องเที่ยวและกีฬานะคะรวมถึงกระทรวงอื่นๆในการที่จะขับเคลื่อนนโยบายนะคะในส่วนของนโยบายที่เราดำเนินการมาเราดำเนินการมาตั้งแต่ปี 2559 นะคะที่เป็นรูปธรรมในเรื่องของ policy นะคะแต่ในส่วนก่อนหน้านี้เราก็ดำเนินการเรื่องของการโปรโมทประเทศไทยให้เป็นWorld Destination ของ Medical Hub มาตั้งแต่ปี 2547 ก็10 กว่าปีนะคะเกือบ20 ปีแล้วที่เราดำเนินการตรงนี้มานะคะในกลุ่มของนโยบายที่เราดำเนินการมานะคะก็จะมีในเรื่องของการให้อำนวยความสะดวกในเรื่องต่างๆนะคะในเรื่องของวีซ่าสำหรับชาวต่างชาติในเรื่องของเซอร์วิสบริการต่างๆเรามีในเรื่องของแมกเนตที่มีมูลค่าสูงนะคะในเรื่องของการขับเคลื่อนถามว่าประเทศไทยมีจุดแข็งอะไรบ้างในเรื่องของการให้บริการเรามีในเรื่องของมาตรฐานนะคะคุณภาพมาตรฐานที่ระดับสากลไม่ว่าจะเป็นคุณภาพมาตรฐานของ JCI GHA นะคะ Well Hotels หรือ Planty นะคะซึ่งมาตรฐานตรงนี้ก็เป็นมาตรฐานที่เราเป็นที่ยอมรับของนานาชาตินะคะในส่วนของเรื่องของfacility ต่างๆนะคะเรามีแพทย์ที่เชี่ยวชาญมีเรื่องของราคาที่เหมาะสมนะคะรวมถึงในเรื่องของศักยภาพต่างๆในเรื่องของศูนย์การวิจัยการเป็นศูนย์กลางในเรื่องของศูนย์การประชุมวิชาการนานาชาตินะคะรวมถึงในการมี success rate ที่สูงนะคะ
So I would like to move to the next thing. So the Thailand Wellness Economic Corridor has been an initiative that one of the organization, Thailand National Charter, has been involved a lot in terms of sharing ideas, in terms of thought leadership, in terms of research, knowledge, and know-how. So I would like to ask Associate Professor Dr. Kampon Siwatanakun about what is the role of Thailand National Charter, especially the Charter of Health, in terms of driving the wellness industry forward.
I like to tell you something that today we would like to share Thailand to help the world for wellness industry. So therefore, one of the key success that we have to decide to move ahead. I would like to propose that we will set up so-called holistic wellness to welcome foreigners to come to enjoy our facility in Thailand. At this time, holistic wellness consists of physical health, mental health, or you can call emotional health, as well as spiritual health. So I'm quite pleased to tell you that no country on earth can compete Thailand with all three components together. So having said that, I would like also to look for the first approach. Right now, we will be suffering from so-called long COVID syndrome. It has been estimated that about 30% of those who have been infected by COVID-19 will suffer from so-called long COVID syndrome. We have spent a lot of time on research how to help those individuals who suffer from long COVID syndrome by taking care of them on every aspect of health. I just repeat, physical health, emotional health, and also so-called energy medicine. So with that, this is the first priority that I would like to propose that we can share and working together. I also like the slogan that if you want to go fast, go alone. So therefore, I have known most of you here for quite a while. So I would like to have some collaboration to bring in your know-how, which I would call innovation. I would like to hold together and we work together so we'll go very far.
So as Dr. Kampon mentioned before about the holistic health and wellness, so I would like to move forward in terms of another piece of work and achievement that National Charter has done as well. We have Kun Pornarit Chuanchayasit here, the president of National Charter, Thailand National Charter here. So I would like to ask you about that. In terms, you also is a leader in terms of the property and development sector as well. So from your opinion, how to build the wellness city, how to build it to the stage that Thailand can promote our country as the wellness destination, not only for the services that we already have, but in terms of facility, physical locations, and other things. I would like you to share the idea of.
First of all the people know that the government sector and the private sector has the different thinking of how to do business, how to move on. The government sector used to think, accumulate ideas and order. Maybe sometimes they just want the private sector to go for hearing or consulting. But after the policy came out, that is not the way we do business now. collaboration, like Dr. Kampon said, is the key point. Today, National Charter is the group of people that involve and devote themselves time, money, and every resource that we can share together and talk with the business sector, academic sector, and government sector. We have many aspects to do the work. We have smart city to think of. We have the safety food charter. We have the transportation, smart transportation. Many sectors, many aspects to think of. But wellness is one of that. Now we focus on wellness because, as you know, Phuket can survive with the tourism industry, only tourism industry. 100,000 of rooms vacant, empty for like 2 or 3 years. Now they are picking up. For National Charter, we talk with all the hotel owners. You want to be the same as before? When the pandemic came, you just sit back, relax, and do nothing for like 2 or 3 years. You want to do that again, to be like that again in the future. And we collaborate with the government sector, with the SBSO. We think that we have to fight, we have to do some strategy to cope with the future. We don't know that the next pandemic will come this year, next year, or the years after.
Talking about, as you mentioned, that many people, many foreigners who sit in this room have known Thailand quite very well because they have been living here. I would like to actually give this question to Dr. Christopher Jensen, who has been practice medicine and also being the leader in terms of wellness and holistic in Thailand as well, to share an idea. What would you say about Thailand's wellness industry?
I've been advising in the wellness space for the better part of 10 years in this country. Prior to me coming finally to Thailand, where I've been advising, going back and forth to England where I live and where I practice as a surgeon and a physician, I went to China just prior to the pandemic to work on a very large project, the largest integrated wellness project in Asia, outside of Shanghai. And when the pandemic came, I thought my next stop has to be ultimately where I desired going when I went to China, which was to come here to Thailand. And I thought at that time, being that I've been looking at this sector and looking at the $4.3 trillion spend that we'd look at for the overall business, I thought, how is the business going to change? How is the leisure business going to change? How is travel going to change? What are people going to be looking at in terms of the future trends? And being that I was doing a lot of the sales and the marketing, or at least sitting in on it and listening to what was happening and seeing what we saw happen to the travel industry, the airline industry, the hotel industry, the hospitality sector, which I had been advising, I envisaged that people would be looking a lot more at their own health. They'd be looking a lot more at their own holistic well-being. Holistic well-being has been part of my practice for a long time as an emergency medicine physician or as a surgeon. We're taking care of problems when they're late, when we've already got the problem, which is what we call reactive healthcare. When we're proactive about our healthcare, we're talking about the problem that we have now, that we can fix before it actually is a problem. So we can reverse the problem, and we can make the problem better by looking at it.
I would like to move to another doctor, the famous one, you know who it is, right, on this stage? Dr. Mai Chan? Okay, yeah. So talking, just Dr. Christopher having said that Thailand should how to say, the positioning of Thailand in terms of the industry should be medical wellness industry, not just medical and not just wellness itself. It has to be medical wellness industry. So from your perspective as the research institute and also as your profession as a doctor as well, what would you say about developing Thailand into that direction?
I sincerely think that Thailand is one of the top in terms of medical tourism, and to add the wellness industry and call it medical wellness tourism, it is a must. And in fact, this is a country with the most travelers coming across. Thai airport is one of the busiest airports, Through my experience of having traveled across 65 countries, if you ask me, I would say Thailand is the best place. I do all my shopping in Thailand, I realized you can have all the brands in Thailand. So there is another part of the business where we can add into this industry. There will be medical training tourism, because there's a lot of anti-aging events or regenerative or anything to do with wellness too is being done in Thailand. For example, A4M comes to Thailand. A4M don't go to any parts of the world in Asia, but the first thing will be in Thailand, because the group of doctors who are interested, you'll be surprised, it's not just the Thai doctors. The doctors who come from US, Europe, everyone likes to come. They'll ask when is the next speaking slot for us, And it's the same for many other events. You notice there are so many events, whether they are for stem cells, they are for aesthetics. I notice there are more aesthetic doctors in Thailand than any parts of the world, And there's more clinic in Thailand than any parts of the world. So you have the medical tourism, you have the medical wellness tourism, and now you can probably have also the medical educational wellness tourism education. Wellness education tourism, So you can have all the three in there. And you have so many brains in Thailand. A lot of European scientists and doctors are here. Americans are here. I notice a lot of European doctors are based in Thailand, and they are kind of having their life here in Thailand too. And I sincerely think this should be the hub, the real hub in Asia, or probably even the world, like what Jackie is promoting, And it is possible, because the cost of living is much cheaper in Thailand than most part of the world too. So I sincerely think the prospect is very high, and all have to work together, the government, the private sectors, the scientists, the doctors, the researchers, put it all together, all for one and one for all, and more brains is better than one brain, I always say that.
We have another distinguished guest from Biomedical Group sitting here with us as well, Dr. Dina Tulina. I would like to ask you about that. What's the role of the Biomedical Group, and also how to use the technologies or the know-how that you have in terms of building the wellness industry in Thailand, especially on the post-COVID.
It is very important, and even speaking medically, this was the first pandemic, but looking at the climate change, it's not going to be the last. There will be more and more to come. We don't know how they will mix with each other, and how they will actually impact ourselves. So everyone thinking about how to be healthy, and at the same time we have very little time for ourselves. We have maybe 1 or 2 months to travel somewhere and for leisure. So at the same time, when you have an opportunity to combine with the wellness, I think it's a target. I think it has really, it's not only business, but it's also medical and for the personal targets as well. About the Biomedical Group, we own the technologies. The cell therapy actually well known from the cell therapy, peptide therapy, they well known from the beginning of 19th century. But no one could bring them to another country. So the key here is a technology, how you will grow them, what you will do with them, how to manage this. You have to do research at the same time. You have to manage open other fields. So the key here is technology, and I'm based in Malaysia, so we have technology, diagnostic devices, Germany is well known for establishing diagnostic devices from the long period, and therapeutic technologies as well, which is know-how. They were only approved in Germany, in a province, in some specific province, and in Switzerland.
Since biomedical group here mentioned about a lot about in terms of now patient, we don't call patient, let's say call them just people, just clients, right? So they are moving toward the self-managed health like journey, let's say that. And I know you, so I know that you are a very good example of manager of your own health using technology. So here we have diagnostic technologies. There we're going to have something that is the technology for the end user, for the patient. So I would like you to share more. What was the role of the technology from the patient's perspective and how it can play in the wellness industry?
I have seen so many commercials saying smart office syndrome, massage, 1 hour. Did it work? I see your packages. You probably are more data driven because you're medical oriented. But the whole industry as such are claiming for something, but they actually can't prove the outcome of the intervention we are doing. I'm so lucky that I had the chance to meet together with my partner here, Kun Paparon Pomlert, in our company. We started donating our time and money and effort into the National Charter. We went to Phuket. We saw the devastation of the pandemic. We presented together with the team behind Be Healthy. We presented an idea to move into another type of business, exactly as you described. We can't just sit and wait for something to happen to be better. And this model of collaboration is, we call it the triple helix model, where you have government, industry, and research joining together. Is very powerful. What we also looked at was a pandemic that has been explained here, that where we see long haul COVID. I have 2 diseases in my body. I can't use the conventional healthcare system. I can use it for the emergency when I got cured, and I can use it for when I need specialist knowledge. But I have to live a life, me and myself, as a patient, a user, a person that has to navigate between very complex endocrinology and very complex oncology. And to be honest, I don't know what causes what. The only thing I know is that I have to use the data around me, the knowledge I can get, and then I need to get expert to help me, guide me, living my life, trying to survive. So we presented the idea that actually many of the cases like me, I actually managed to get my diabetes controlled and get back into a better body shape by food and exercise, not drugs. Not drugs.
The last one that we've been sitting here, I would like to give this question to Kun Thiti Samuttarat, the MD of MSC. So I would like to hear what you say about what kind of role that the industry should play in terms of building up Thailand as a wellness hub.
Actually, I'm working under CISA as an associate medical director, working closely with Dr. Christopher. Yep, and also working as a ASCI surveyor trainee with working closely with Dr. Songpan as well. So we do like accreditation for clinics and hospitals to make Thailand a medical hub of the world. And also we are planning to expand the accreditation in other parts of Asia as well. And also working a lot in technology as well. Yeah, so I'm part of the team called the AACI, American Accreditation Commission International. So I'm working closely with Dr. Sompan, who is the board of directors of AACI America. And our main goal is to give accreditations to the health centers and health hospitals in Thailand. And as a representative of the whole Asia Pacific, we are planning to expand the accreditation throughout Asia Pacific regions and also in China as well. The role of accreditation not only helps the organization itself stand out in terms of safety for the patients, but also for the organization structures and management within the organization. And in terms of the perspective for the customers or the patients, it's also to help improve their trust and also help in terms of quality improvement as well, to make sure they are happy with their service, to make sure that the patients are safe and make them feel they are able to trust in the services provided at that accredited organization.